It's officially 3:33 p.m. and we are off the clock. Welcome back to the Girls That Get It podcast, where we navigate entrepreneurship through the quadruped theory. I'm Shakila, aka Kai.
I'm DJ Junius.
And I'm Ashby Hunt.
And we're back for episode 21.
21.
Turn up.
21.
She gets Spanish every week. It's so crazy.
Keeping the trend going, you know what I'm saying? Yes. So we're back for episode 21. We are so close to 33. You know
That's going to be a good one.
Yes.
Yeah. You guys know what I'm pushing for.
Yeah. big. You got
I'm the risk taker of the group.
You got big dreams. She trying to make
huge
people
dreams.
pass out.
We are going to have a live episode on 33. Live and in color.
I got no comment. I just got
I'll be there.
smiles.
We will have the
I don't know what I'm
libations
gonna do,
for you,
but I'll
okay?
be there.
We'll have the libations for you. Don't
in
worry.
some capacity. I'm going to be the greeter. Make sure everybody comfortable.
The Ursha.
Right.
They talking up there.
Have your notes on the screen.
Yes. That's what I meant.
All right, so today's episode is about the power of collaboration. This is going to be a good episode.
It's going to be a great one, I think.
Yes.
For sure.
You guys ready to get started?
Let's get into
All right,
it.
it's officially 3:33 p.m. and we are off the clock.
Cheers.
Sip, sip. Years. 14.
Right. At somebody Thanksgiving.
Yeah.
All right, so like we said, this episode is about the power of collaboration.
Yes.
So let's define collaboration for the listeners, the viewers, so they can know exactly what we're referring to.
Yeah. So it's basically just working with someone or someone's, I guess, multiple people possibly to produce or create something. So anytime you work as a group or as a team to create something.
Yeah. And not necessarily just you as an individual. Sometimes when you're building, when you're,
Your
combining.
Your business. Absolutely.
Yeah, combining businesses and brands.
Right.
Yeah.
So it'll also be two businesses partnering.
For
sure.
one. Yes.
Yeah, absolutely. What are some examples that come to mind when you guys think about collaboration?
On a grand scale, the first thing that just came to my mind was like Tabitha Brown in Target.
Okay.
So that's like a
Okay,
collaboration.
yeah. Yes. I
all
like
my
what
brands.
they're doing in regards to
Like their black
the
designers.
Black designers
Yeah.
as far as Target. Yeah.
I love that with
Yeah.
Target.
Yep.
Yeah.
I always shop their collaborations.
Love it.
For
Yeah.
sure.
Yeah. My first thing that comes to mind is fashion as well, but it's like, you know how like Off-White will do Off-White and Nike.
Yeah.
Or, what is it, Supreme and Louis Vuitton, how they did things. That, my mind always goes to like fashion.
My
fashion side,
favorite swimsuit collab was Onia and DVF.
Oh, yeah. That
It
was
was
cute.
cute.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
But yeah, different brands collab, but other also like certain businesses,
Yeah.
like even services, certain businesses when we need to reach a goal within our platforms or something like that, we'll collab on a gift or a product to offer to you know, our followers or to gain new followers or stuff like that.
I mean, it could be something as simple as like for your photo shoots,
Yes.
collabing
With the-
another
Exactly.
artist, to build portfolio.
I always say that photographers should definitely like collab with models.
Yes.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
Hairstylists,
hairstylists,
makeup
makeup
teams.
artists,
Yeah.
absolutely.
Yeah.
So everybody can get their pictures for their, you know, the portfolio.
Particular,
benefits everyone.
it benefits
Yeah,
everyone.
so it really benefits small businesses as well. I know sometimes we think like, oh, that's for people who have money, marketing, they can do that, right?
No.
Or even think about, in my mind, a collaboration, even though if it's paid, it's still kind of like you bridging the brands together.
Yeah.
Like when lower businesses, like say for instance, what is the General has Shaq.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it was like, I feel like that was the first like commercial that he did. And it was like, I'm taking a chance on you.
Right.
You're taking a chance on me.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. And even you can collaborate behind the scenes. So just something simple
yeah.
as I'm using a new product that's hitting. You know, I'm sharing that with someone that's also in my field,
Right.
DJ specifically.
Yes.
So we're collaborating on the back end
Yes.
to create a great experience for the
Yeah.
client.
Yeah.
Both
For
clients.
both
both
clients.
businesses.
And they both don't have to be the face.
Exactly.
Yes.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah. I actually like that though.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It makes everything easier.
We all win.
Yeah.
This past week on Theme, we saw on social media, like the bottom half competes in the top. That 1%
collaborate.
Yeah,
Absolutely. Yeah.
Absolutely. So let's talk about competition though. Collaboration versus competition. Do you think people get in their own way in regard to that? Like they create this unbeknownst like competition, and sometimes people don't even know they're in competition.
Right. That part.
Yeah. Sure. I mean, I think it's more natural than
It's probably a human emotion.
Yeah,
it's a natural human emotion.
Yeah, it's probably more natural than people give it credit for being, but you cannot allow those type of like mind blocks like prevent you from a great opportunity.
Success.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
And I think a lot of times it's more pronounced for you if you're not actively doing what you know you should be doing.
Yeah.
Because if you're like doing your thing and you know that you are, you're completing your goals and you are
providing impact.
What is it? Like growing and you are, I don't think that it bothers you as much. I don't think you'll even notice.
But also too, you prevent yourself from really like you said, growth, but like being on the job training, training, learning, some things. Because for instance, like we talk about all the time, like how we all have different things that we bring to the table. Sure. So it's like you collaborating, I can learn editing from you. I can learn, tech from you. You can learn whatever from me. So it's like you kind of lose out. Yeah. You don't take the time to collaborate because we all don't know everything.
Yeah. Absolutely. Didn't y'all feel like, no shade, because, I'm proud of my brother. He got a lot of things going on. But sometimes in the beginning when you saw the Tyler Perry production and he was like produced by, written by, directed, right? It felt like it lacked like another point of view because he held all the like positions. It's like you don't got nobody else speaking over this.
But the funny thing is now he does.
Now he does. But initially he didn't. And I'm like, you can tell because it lacks like any other perspective.
But you know why I think that was though? Because he didn't have the money to.
I could see that.
Hire people to do that, and also think about maybe people didn't really give him the opportunity to say, "Hey, I believe in you. I'm going to do this for you, or do this for a low amount of, a small fee, whatever." He had to make it work.
I get that part. That part. But some of these productions was in the movies, bro. I get it though. No, but I do get your perspective. Yeah. But I was just saying in relation to not, why he had to do it, but because of that, certain things lacked a little bit of perspective.
Yeah. I was watching, so I got introduced to this new YouTuber. Her name is Peyton Charles. And hi, Peyton. Hi, Peyton. These are my new friends.
Oh, okay. Okay.
In the head.
Yes. It starts there.
It starts there. Yeah, absolutely. But anyways, she was talking about she hates when people kind of leave you in the same spot that you started. Okay. Like they always want to bring up your past or whatever.
Where they met you.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And so she was saying that she was watching old play, or no, she went to an old play, whatever, and she didn't like how, at the end of the play they were saying, "Oh, thank you, Tyler, for da-da-da-da." And she said one guy brought up like, "Yeah, thank you. Look at you. At that time, you was like, I remember back in the day, you was like sleeping in your car, and you had to ask me for a loan, and now look at you." God. And so she was just like, it wasn't the fact that he brought it up; it was just the way he brought it up.
It was about him.
He made it about himself.
No, it was about him. Yeah. Like I remember a time that I was better than
you,
right? Or it's perceived, or so you thought. Like you get what I'm saying, and that makes me more comfortable with being in your presence right now.
Yeah, right.
Yeah. He could have said that same thing. Yeah, in a way of like, I remember way back.
But and I'm so proud of you. Before she said it, I never thought of that. But when she said it, it's kind of like, oh,
yeah, you made it about you.
Yeah. Like, wow, people do that.
No, all the time. But that's where they were the most comfortable, like dealing with you.
And she's like, you ain't never saw him in another Tyler Perry play after that.
Right, ever since. Right.
Damn.
Yeah.
Opportunity blown.
Yeah. So I feel like the success, it's in our notes, but I feel like this, I think it's true. Yeah. The success of the team and your projects rely heavily on every team member to pull their weight. Absolutely. If you are going to a collaboration and you only think about the benefit or what you're going to come out of it versus really putting the time and the effort into something, it's not going to be successful.
Right.
Yeah. It can't be about what you're going to receive from it.
Right.
Yeah.
It actually provides that extra accountability.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah.
1000%. Working with other people.
Yeah. So I think.
So no, everyone has to pull their own weight.
Yeah.
That's a huge thing with collaboration to make it beneficial for everyone.
Yeah.
Yeah, you got to pull your own weight.
Do you find, I remember when I was like in college and like high school and college and stuff like that, and group projects and collab projects came around, when it didn't like manifest in the way that I thought it should, I would just take it over. And
of course, yeah. Because I mean, if we're being honest, all three of us are alpha females.
Yeah.
So that's like the normal thing.
So it was just like something.
But you want it done right.
Yeah.
Attached to it. It's like
and I'm standing in front of
I want it done right.
Presenting. I need XYZ. I remember. I forget what class I was walking into, but I was working with this group of 5. I forget what subject we were speaking on, honestly. But I asked everybody to wear black and white to the thing. And
of course, clothes was involved.
Right.
Of course, the look was involved.
The work was
so important to her.
It's so funny.
So the
aesthetics of it all.
They did, but it was a business kind of presentation, right? And the young lady that was in my group, she came with her black and white looking beautiful, but like some thick ass name plates.
Oh, God.
And I walked in, she walked up, I was like, do you mind taking off your necklaces? And when I tell you the look I got,
she was like, who are you?
Yes. How fucking dare you, man?
That's basically what she said.
Are you the
You're all ready to ask.
Right. Now you're pushing it.
Now you're pushing it. Now fast forward. We walk into class to give our presentation. My professor was like, eyes bright. Right. Just on a walk-in.
Yeah.
Just on a walk-in.
Yeah.
So now
we sold you already.
Yeah. We're only up. Now we had 90. We had a 90 now.
Exactly.
Looking for the 100 versus starting at the 70
and working the way up. Yeah.
So you might look at me crazy, but I'm like, come on.
I helped you, boo.
Yeah.
Collaborate, okay?
Yeah. People just trust what you have to say.
Yes.
Yeah.
Say that again. Trust.
Yes.
And collaboration, you have to trust. That. Yes. Absolutely. Yeah. Absolutely. Yes. And also, too, you might think that you want something a certain way, like you had a look and you had a vision or whatever, right? Mm. And you may think that it's supposed to play out that way, but you also have to understand what your strengths and your weaknesses are, and lean on somebody where your weaknesses are.
Right. And also, like, another thing that you pointed out as far as, like, being, like, a alpha female or, a lady in charge or whatever. Mm-hmm. Great leaders are good listeners. Great leaders, like 100%. Great leaders are great followers. Listeners. Yeah, you gotta be
great students.
You're great students always. You're always
they're flexible.
Yes, 1000%. So that is not a slight to you. Like taking a back seat and listening to something that somebody has to say or something that they may have to offer. It actually makes you a good leader, and then makes people want to work with you even more because you get that you're listening to their perspective and their point of view.
What's the saying? The teacher is the student of the game.
Yeah, always.
Like
always a student of the game.
Yeah. Always.
Yeah.
Forever a student.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So we've tapped on it a little bit, but let's explore the benefits of collaboration. Okay. So the first one, of course, we said success.
Yes.
Right. Building your brand. Yes. Right. What are some others?
I guess it can lead to increased creativity, expand your networks, share resources, and, like mutual support.
Go back, though. Expanding the network. That is so important. Okay. So
there's a Spanish-speaking lady on this podcast.
I
don't know what's going on.
Pretty should be.
Right. Expanding the networks. Can we tap on that a little bit? Talk about that a little bit. Okay, so I was in Sephora on Sunday. Not this Sunday, it's last Sunday. Okay. And a young girl came up to me, whatever. Well, she worked at Sephora, but she was saying that she was a makeup artist and stuff like that. And then she went to, she does videography and stuff like that. But in my mind, I'm like, I already have one. But
you just listening.
But I did give her our videographer's information, our photographer's information, because I'm like, well, you guys can do some stuff together. You know what I mean? Like, you never know. You do makeup. She does photography, even though you do photography. But, if you're saying your main thing, how you introduce yourself to me was
a makeup
artist.
Right.
Yeah, absolutely. So I was telling her, I'm like, the best way to network is always networking this way versus networking up this way.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yes.
No.
I'm a firm believer of that.
Isn't that like what Issa Rae is preaching like right now?
Yes.
She like networking across the board more so than like
trying to reach up.
Yeah.
Yes,
Right.
Absolutely.
Because you got to be able to provide value for it to be worth it to to everyone in the group.
Exactly.
Because I believe a lot of people in her team are people that she when she had YouTube series.
Yes.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So that's amazing. Okay, so you said that was my whole point of like networking sideways or whatever. Because I think that when people talk about expanding or networking, expanding their network, they're always trying to reach
right, because you're thinking about yourself and the benefits that you could have from their network.
Absolutely.
Rather than working
together to build up.
For sure, to build up. It's like that saying, we've said it multiple times, like if you want to go far, go together. If you want to go fast, go alone.
Exactly. Absolutely. What else? You said shared resources and mutual support.
That's a huge one.
It's a huge one.
It is.
Yeah. Shared resources too, though, because
because it just makes sense.
It just makes sense.
I'm like the type of person, like, if I got it, I want everybody else to got it. Absolutely. Yeah. So I went to my CPA office last week, and it was a young girl in there. She basically she was a hairstylist as well. I told you guys before that my CPA focuses on beauty entrepreneurs or whatever, but she just helped her get funding, and she just bought a building to open up some salon suites. And I was like, oh my God, that's so cool. We were chit-chatting. It was another makeup artist there, and I was like, you should communicate with my landlord, right? Because they are all for small businesses, black businesses, whatever. Like everybody that they hire, contractors or whatever, are black or whatever. So I was like, even if you just talk to them and see what they do, whatever. I'm like, he'll be super open talking to you. And the makeup artist was like, oh my gosh, that's what kind of like, we need or whatever. I'm like, I'm always going to share some information.
It helps you avoid some of that trial and error, because that trial and error can get expensive.
It's just the most expensive thing ever. So just listening.
So that's also a benefit of the collaboration. Avoiding some of those.
Absolutely. Even what episode was that when we talked about some of our favorite things that we use and do behind the scenes, because it comes to mind when you're talking about what editing apps you use, whatever. People like to hold on to stuff.
No, 1000%. You don't realize that. I remember first starting to lash and knowing that I had the product plug across the water, and I was scared to share it, not necessarily because of how it would impact me,
so that you wouldn't be able to get it again.
No, it wasn't really that. It was more so I knew that one of my lash mentors sold that product from there and sold to these people who were now asking me for this information, and it used to like throw me off a little bit because I was just trying to be loyal, and I just knew if it was going to come back, it was going to come back, that I did some hating ass shit that I really didn't.
Because people were very secretive about that.
Yes, they were. And I wasn't. I got it on a whim, but I didn't care about it. I just didn't want nobody looking at me like I was the... I did some messy
my
stuff.
first trainer, she also... I think that's who she used to create her product line. But she also, when she was out, she used them as well.
Of course. And it was just the main one, but when people would ask, I would just be like, bro. Because I knew who they were shopping with. So I didn't want it to come back like it was me. But after that, I didn't care about anything because I realized very early on, and being very booked very quickly, I can't do everything. I can't serve everybody. So you having this information or you having this resource, it doesn't bug me because you are not me, and that's no slight. But I'm attracting who I attract. You attract who you attract. And I mean,
even with just like
you turn your brain off a little bit.
You can but even just with like services that you don't do, people are even afraid to like refer you to people that
they really like.
Because it's like It don't
I've
matter,
heard
though.
that.
It doesn't matter.
Have you heard somebody say, I wanted to give you a client, but I don't want to not
I don't want them
to
to, you already booked up. I had clients say that. You already booked up. It's hard enough for me to get an appointment.
I don't want to tell her.
But don't take my blessings away, baby.
Shit, I'm with it, though. Look.
Yeah. Well, I'm good.
I don't like the intent. I don't like the intent behind it.
No, and that's, because the intent is, what is that limiting mindset? It's like that scarcity mindset.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And then, for other people, that you could think that they so booked or whatever the case may be, but
And
maybe they're limiting their schedule because they're not booked.
Right.
Yeah. So why would they be up here wasting their time with 1 or 2 people? So,
right. And send me the client, because it's like next week you might be unemployed and you might not be able to do this again.
Hello.
Like, send the client.
Or you send me the client, but I can actually refer that client to somebody else if I'm not able to
in my network
them.
that I trust.
And now I'm blessing somebody else.
Exactly.
For sure.
Yeah.
Just don't take control of my situation.
Exactly.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay, so have you guys collaborated in the past? We know that you two collaborated. Have you collaborated outside of the two of you guys in, some type of capacity?
Well, yeah. For me, I do a lot of lash collaborations with my lash distributor. They drop new product all the time, and they request work to show off whatever they're launching, and that works in collaboration with them once they launch, and I get the credit for the artwork or like whatever is having the exposure of it. In other instances,
you said like the not competition. What'd you say earlier?
I can't remember.
The little things on the internet. I mean, on Instagram. What you just say?
Oh, yeah. Like, so to gain followers, you know what I mean? Like, so you and another business might work together, or just say you have, like, for instance, Artisan Lash and I, we had a giveaway for a training with our mentor.
That's the word I'm looking for, giveaway.
With a training for our mentor that gained, push
followership
followers and
apparel
engagement line. For the apparel line. Yes. So, you can collaborate with other businesses, and I've collaborated with other businesses like that for giveaways, to give away cameras, and all of everybody is just pulling their following and their resources to build everybody else up.
Yeah. That's amazing.
Yeah. What else have I collaborated?
You collaborated with we collaborated for the apparel line with her box. She had a lash box.
Oh yes. Yeah. Top Shelf.
Yes.
Top Shelf, that particular business, and she had a beauty box giveaway, and that we, to give the line more exposure. So we've done a lot of different things through the lash industry.
And that was successful for you. Feel like you.
Yeah.
I think mine is probably the same thing. Like my the product line that I use for my adhesive and lashes, it's the same thing. It's like I've collaborated with both of them, which has been beneficial. I guess for the following. But I guess it also depends on what you're trying to gain.
Yes.
Because that really just exposes you to other people in your industry.
Yeah, and I was going to say,
it depends.
People really should push to try to do something completely opposite
of
their brand.
That's what I was just about to ask you. Have we done any collaborations outside? I can't remember. Like, my brain is going poof. Like, outside of our industry. I can't exactly.
That would be good. That would be good. Something to try to research and do.
Yeah.
I can't think
of anything.
Yeah. I've done private stuff. I haven't done things that were open, but
that are front facing.
A lot of the nonprofit stuff.
Yeah.
Me working at the domestic violence shelters during Christmas time, we'll go in a day and I'll grab some other hairstyles friends and we do like the hair and makeup and stuff for the women and children.
It's just so interesting. It's like I should remember a lot of times to call you in certain instances.
Yeah.
I just be moving and like grooving so fast. But I was approached yesterday leaving the grocery store by a young lady. And she seemed to be going through something. I just didn't have it for her in that moment. Because I was rushing to the car, I had stuff that would melt in my hand. And she was like, you might not have the information, but do you know anybody with any information with, like, where I can go? And I said,
to live?
To be, I think
just
somebody
had resources.
She just needed resources. Yeah. She needed some information. And I'm like, I don't. But I did give her my phone number. So if she calls, I'm going to call you back to connect with her.
Yeah.
Because she needed some place to go yesterday.
Yeah.
And just in my moving and in my haste. And then I drove off feeling like shit the whole way. I'm like, I got to I gotta.
I wasn't gonna say that, but
I did, but I was
give a fuck about that ice cream you had.
Well, just all the things that I had, you know, you just be moving. You're right though, because I drove off, and the whole drive I'm like, I gotta be more available, and I gotta be more resourceful, and more present in that moment because I'm just moving.
We have to give back. We're in an industry where we make women feel beautiful, and it's super important to. You know.
I should have just. That just was a weird moment for you to say that. I'm like, I should have just called you because she asked. She's like, you may not, but do you know somebody? And I'm like, off the top of my head, no, ma'am, I don't.
But that was nice.
Yeah.
Like the way she approached.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I just told her, I was like, do you think there is anything I can do immediately to help you? And she was just like, no, but
she didn't want any money.
She just needed information about stuff. So I gave her my number, so if she calls, I got it. She didn't have a number for me to call. But I wrote down my information to give to her, so we'll see.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure.
Sorry,
I have because I have clients who work in social work and stuff like that. And so
they always have resources.
Yeah, absolutely. So
one of the things that we're doing now, I mean, this podcast is a collaboration.
Yeah.
3 businesses.
Yeah.
3
collaborating for something that's outside of what we do for, professionally.
Yes. Yeah. For sure.
And this is I think outside of what we do professionally, this is the only collaboration that I've been a part of.
Yeah. And we plan on collaborating with some other brands.
Better soon.
Or not the freak way.
In the very near future.
Yes.
All right. So speaking of in the future and collaborating in the future, let's talk about the importance of finding the right collaboration.
Yes.
Because we talked about, doing something within your, that aligns with your business, or not aligns with your business, but it's in the same kind of category as your business. But what about outside of that? So what are the ways to figure out if this is right for you or not?
It's got your values have to align.
I was going to say,
your values, your mission has to align. I think specifically for our podcast, the people that we hope to in the future collaborate with, they would be things, that fall under the quadrifit.
Yes.
Things that we care about. It would make sense for us to partner with Arby's.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Yesterday, one of my accounts I really love, he was talking about Arby's. It was Arby's slander. So it's in my head. He's like, I would not tolerate Arby's slander. Somebody said, I need names of who is keeping this business in. Who is keeping them in business?
Right.
I'm telling you, who is driving
who are the names specifically?
Right. Literally.
But,
that is so funny.
That is funny.
Arby's used to be really good, back in the day.
I still come through clutch every once in a while, but I just don't. No one's ever in line.
Yeah.
How are you staying in business? It reminds me of
I think you know what? They probably own something else that we don't know.
Yeah.
Something else is probably keeping Arby's in. They might own a Burger King or something.
Maybe a real estate play.
Exactly.
To sell Pepsi or something.
Right.
Yeah, exactly.
Exactly.
Yes.
No, I have no clue. I haven't had
it. Reminds me of the mattress centers that you always see. I'm like, this got to be money laundering.
No, seriously.
What's going on?
No, seriously. Outlet.
How many mattress outlets?
There's so many on every corner.
I'm telling you, especially by my salon.
Yeah.
It's
all the warehouses on.
Yeah, I'm like, what are y'all doing in there?
What are y'all doing?
Yeah. Ooh, they got something in there. They got something in the mattress.
Yes. I'm getting people ran down on.
No, seriously. So let's talk about how they can identify potential collaborative partners. One, of course, I would make a list.
Yeah.
I would make a list of what you want to accomplish, what you're trying to accomplish, whether it's I want more followers or I want more foot traffic inside of my business, my storefront. Just figure out what it is that you want. And then you should be able to pick it through that. Yeah. So it's what is going to drive and how am I going to benefit somebody else?
What are you trying to achieve?
Part. Yes.
Who do I want to work with? And also what value can I provide them?
Yes. Yeah.
Definitely.
Absolutely.
That makes sense.
What else?
You should always have an offer.
First of all, because you feel like more work then you know what I mean. If you don't bring
lead
something
with that,
tangible,
what you are willing to offer, and help.
And don't try to finesse, because I hate when people try to.
You can feel it.
You can feel it. You're trying to sell me on something versus trying to really collaborate. You're trying to sell me.
And I don't like being sold.
Don't
listen.
Don't do it.
If it's for sale, baby, it's expensive.
So let's just talk about that too, in a sense of like, you know how they say hire slow, fire fast kind of vibe.
Yeah.
Like, when do you know it's a good time to exit a collaboration?
When it no longer serves you.
Yeah.
It no longer benefits. It slows down.
Yeah. And try not to like hold on to things too long that really, really don't serve you. And don't I'm not saying be a quitter or like be a flake or in any sense of the word. Like, you know what that looks like. But I'm just saying, if this no longer suits you and it doesn't feel well, learn to exit situations with like dignity and like upfront.
It's like no hard feelings. Like, this just is not working. And a lot of times the other person may feel that too.
Exactly.
It's like, but they don't want to be able to say it. Yeah, somebody has to say it.
Yeah.
Could you set them free?
Yeah, you know. Right there.
Now that I think about it, I did collaborate with a young lady who had a really big platform. It's like in the beginning. And excuse me, I did bring me clientele. So basically I did a service for her for free or whatever. And her thing was that she was going to market promote it on all of her social platforms. And it did for the first couple of times. But after that, I'm like, okay, baby.
Right. We done
maxed this out.
Yeah, exactly. Like it's a wrap. And it's like, oh, okay, cool, whatever. So it was like, you also have to be careful with like,
because
not paying attention.
Yeah,
for sure.
Time can pass.
And you're like, wait a minute now. Like, you know. But also too, you got to think about a short-term game versus a long-term game too. Sometimes collaborations are for the long haul.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
That made me think about like even bartering. I guess that would be like a way of collabing.
Absolutely.
You know, your hairstylist, your lash artist, y'all can. You know, there's a way to do that where it's mutually beneficial.
Absolutely.
It's a barter.
No, but I was just about to say, and it has to make sense.
It has to make sense.
The barter for a hair appointment never made sense.
Right. It's like, what are we? The value thing.
Well, because you're consistently coming every 2 weeks for
Exactly.
lashes. And I'm not coming to you. I'm not every 2 week person.
Yes.
You know who that would work out for though? Every 2 weeker. Somebody who gets like a wears their real hair.
Yep.
Yeah, absolutely.
That is the only
Hairstylist too. Hairstylist, artist to artist.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, absolutely.
That makes sense. Yeah.
Or unless like you know what your hourly average is.
Yeah,
you know, you can work that out. Where I'm $100 an hour, you're $100 an hour. Maybe we can
make it make sense.
Yeah.
Make it complicated, but
it could.
Especially when you start out, that could be beneficial.
Yeah.
No, it's real smart.
But again, like you said, knowing when to exit.
Knowing when to pull it
and we still cool.
And we still cool.
But again, you got to exit the proper way.
That's what I'm saying.
Absolutely.
If you let it go too long, and now you have this resentment.
Snappity. Yes.
Bitter.
Yes. So just to break it down, so aligning the values, like Ashley said, complementary skills and shared goals.
Yes.
So that is the best way to identify. Yes, absolutely. Yes. Let's give them some tips on networking.
I mean, I think just what were you about to say?
I was gonna say I just said something about being in Sephora, you chit chatting, you talking or whatever. Making sure that you have your information available, whether if it's a QR code somebody can scan or having a business card.
Yes.
I would also say going to events that align with what your business and your brand is. Yeah, absolutely. What were you gonna say?
I have no idea. I think I was gonna say to that point though. Yeah, like even just people that are paying for higher priced services or item, just like going to a Pilates. Yeah, like if you're looking for that type of
girl, you surround
maybe there's some mutual or sitting at the bar. Like you will see other entrepreneurs sitting at the bar
at 3 p.m.
So I was gonna say something like. A good way to network is like being at the events like InvestFest that we went to last year that we're going to this year. Because it won't be industry aligned, but you'll be able to make those connections with people across other industries. Which is super
mindset.
Like-minded. Like-minded.
Yeah. You see, I just threw that out.
Mindset
I said mindset aligned.
Yes. And people are open. You know, people are open in those environments, whereas you just kind of like cold, you know, calling or cold reaching out.
The same low key thing.
Yes.
You know? Yeah.
And the same fulfillment from the.
Yeah, I made this investment. Other people in this room have made this investment. We're all in it.
We're all in it together.
Yeah.
I was about to say about networking. It is not as difficult as it sounds. Like networking, it's not. It's just as simple as Kai was saying. When you do meet and when you do speak to people, have your information available. Have your cards available. If you know you're not comfortable speaking to people when you got your hat on, dug low, and you're running from people, that's why it kind of like my theme of like showing up the way you're comfortable speaking, because a lot of times in your small business setting, you are the face. You are the business. And if you need to talk and make connections with people and you're running because you're not feeling comfortable, shift that. So you can be comfortable introducing yourself, telling them about what you do, selling what you have to offer, and then you can make that connection and keep it moving. And you feel proud about it. You know what I mean?
And you can also reframe it so it doesn't feel so like networking with this, you know, building relationships.
That's it.
Even just like us with our clients. You know, we have so many amazing women that we work with. It's like there are ways for us to collaborate with them. Like they may have some information we don't have.
I collaborate every day.
So just building relationships with people. Before you go into the like what we can benefit each other.
Exactly.
And there has to be a rapport.
Natural.
Natural for sure.
Because ain't nothing worse than something like forced or fake. And you like it seeps out. You know what I mean? Because it just doesn't feel natural. It's like, woo, how did that link up? You know what I mean?
And compliment people too. Like people love to receive a good compliment.
That's it. That'll break a wall down.
Let it be genuine.
No, absolutely.
A genuine compliment. But that will break a wall down real quick.
Because the thing is, it's nothing to just share with them. You're attracted to this person for a reason. Share with them why you're attracted to them. People love, you know.
I remember we went to Invest Fest. There was a girl. She was like, "Oh, what do you guys do? Whatever." She was like, "I sell hair, da da da," or "I do hair," something like that. And she was like, "Oh, you might not want my card." I was like, "No, give me your card." Like,
very pleasant.
Girl, what does that mean?
When we were buying our snacks on the
yes.
I remember walking up to the counter to pay for whatever I was ordering, and they were like, "Y'all look like some real business." I'll take it.
We showing up as so.
That matters.
Absolutely.
And the thing is, it's like if you go back, you know, we made that moment. I'm sure they remembered that moment. It's like when we see them this year, or even if we had a cold call, you know, we called them now to reach out. They remember those moments. I mean, because this year we'll, like we said, we're going to go again for our second year, but then next year we'll be on the panel.
Sorry, not that was a laugh.
This lady is crazy.
But she will
place
us anywhere.
But anywhere. Like, just plop us in these folks stuff. I'm with it.
In the middle
we'll be there.
She said we will be on the panel.
We'll be on the panel.
Wherever
she say we'll be, blissfully, we'll be there.
All right. Crazy.
Last but not least, of course, using your social media platform to network as well. We all know that is possible.
The value of that.
The best way, the quickest way to get some attention is, you know, commenting, liking, having an opinion on somebody's post, especially when they're asking questions, just engaging in the most positive way. Again, I'm going to keep bringing up Invest Fest, but just when we launched and we started, you know, I wanted to make sure that people knew that we're here, and so I communicated with those.
We talking biz naive,
right? We talking biz naive. We're not talking about culture, baby. We are here. Yes. Even if as newbies, but I'm like so confident in us, and I knew what we were going to do. But I wanted the people
for sure.
I wanted the people to know.
She see the big picture.
I wanted people to know. I'm going to keep that picture until
next
year when we're on the panel.
I'm gonna be there. I don't know what I'm gonna say, but I'm gonna be there. I was just thinking, if you're trying to get those like the brands that you already use, I remember when we were like trying to kind of get the attention in the industry. It's like tagging the people because people love that. Like tagging those people.
They honestly didn't know we were there, but I honestly didn't know they were there until we took certain training. I was like, oh, this is a whole world of mess of you know, like people that I had not.
It's a whole community.
It's a whole community, and just simply that tag, it crossed that bridge.
One collaboration that I admire is somebody that you introduced me to that you guys both know that's in the lash industry is. Dang, what are their names? Just
just escaped you.
We went to Dallas and you spoke at the graduation.
Yeah.
Tiana and Roxy. Yeah. Like I admire their little corrupt. I won't say little. I hate when people say little.
I know.
Yeah. But that's like creating a relationship.
They created a relationship, and they are the queens of the collab.
They are.
They get it to the next level. They do it with their photography team, their makeup artist team, and everybody comes together for this big like shoot day or content
and you
day.
get the content done.
Yeah, and you build that relationship. Roxy had reached out to me when she was first launching her school, and she asked me for to sponsor, to do a sponsorship for
tuition, right?
Tuition, and it's like, you know, at that moment there wasn't a mutual exchange, but it's like I know that I can reach out to her. At that next, it's like if I need whatever that next thing is, I know that that's a relationship that's solidified. Yeah.
That's lit.
This your color, girl. To the point. This your color, baby.
It's I went from orange to teal.
Yes, it's your color. What is this? A minty?
Yeah, it is minty.
A lime
minty
something.
Something about the colors is giving.
Yeah,
I like
really.
It.
Yeah. Sorry, I just got distracted.
Is that brown skin?
Is that brown
skin? Okay, so obviously we know that there are key elements of. I mean, we talked about creating that relationship, creating the trust, and making sure that the collaboration is beneficial for both. But let's just go over the key elements of it, right? Mm-hmm. So open communication, super important. I think Ashley talked about that a little bit. Trust, reciprocity, and also emphasizing the importance of open communication, trust, and reciprocity. So I said reciprocity.
That is.
That's the word.
Reciprocity.
Okay.
Reciprocal. Reciprocity.
That's the proper.
That's That reminds me of that Lauryn Hill song where she's like, all I need is reciprocity. I had no idea what that motherfucker was saying.
At all.
I did. She needed to be mutual.
Yeah, I had no idea. I was just thinking it.
So hard too, huh?
Yeah. And so all those things should be outlined when you're going into the collaboration to say, okay, these are what my expectations are, and everybody else, everybody verbalizes their expectations. To make sure that you're on the same page, and that will continue the relationship in a positive way. Mm-hmm. Because there's always the collaboration, the relationship, and then the rapport.
For sure. You gotta have trust. For that. You gotta have trust for that for sure. So being trustworthy, keeping your word,
keeping your word,
showing up for the people,
and then also like we've talked about this before. I don't know if we said it on the podcast, but long as there's no ill intent, it's like as long as there's nothing malicious, then
we can understand mistakes.
Exactly. Then that trust, can still be. Can still be there.
Strategies for maintaining long-term collaborative partnership. We talked about that. Just building the rapport. There's a relationship and then there's rapport. So again, showing up, being trustworthy, all those good things, right?
And keeping that good eye open to weed and filter all of these things out. Like, don't be too fast and too. You know what I mean? Just like pay attention to your surroundings. Pay attention to what you're lacking, and just. Be aware altogether, because I feel like people be jumping into stuff because it seems cool and beneficial, but they don't know. You know what I mean?
Right.
It's just a natural progression. Like nothing about this. It was intention behind it, but it wasn't forced.
Not forced.
It wasn't forced, and
it should never feel that way.
It felt like everybody had something to add to the pot, and that would make the gumbo, but. It was never forced.
They say that all the time, like in relationships, like, oh, what are you bringing to the table? They talk about it in partnerships or whatever, as far as like romantic relationships. And they always say like, oh, what you bringing to the table? And it's like, that new saying is, I bring in the table.
In the chair.
In the chair.
The thing is,
everybody did bring 3 tables together.
Yes.
And make this shit happen.
The thing is, anybody that's having a conversation, it's like, I don't want to, if I have to explain to you what I'm bringing to the table, let's just not.
Maybe we don't even sit out.
You don't get me. You don't get it.
You don't get it.
You don't see it. You're slow.
You're slow. Yeah.
Like even in romantic relationships, it's like if that person, I never felt rejected by like a person that's not interested in you. It's like he ain't smart. Or she ain't smart. Like why would I want to deal with them? Exactly.
It's not me.
Exactly.
Yeah,
you, bro.
it's you. And y'all
or
are
we're just
crazy.
not like-minded people.
Yeah.
Like, let me not even judge you on that. Let me just remove myself because we're not like-minded
Yeah.
And that has been growth for me. It's
Yeah.
like I recognize all of the value and just all of the characteristics that come with you. And be it as it may, and I accept that and I respect that from you. I don't want to work with that.
Yeah.
Or I don't want to be with that.
Yeah.
Or I don't, you know what I mean? But I respect you.
Yeah, you don't have to prove
and
your
prove
value.
you. And you don't have to prove it to me.
Right.
I see you. I see it. It's clear. It might not work.
Right.
And thank you.
Thank you. Thank you for your service.
Thank you for your time.
Thank you for your service, baby. Yes.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
I wish everybody was emotionally mature enough to like get that is not necessarily a slight.
Right.
It just is two individuals recognizing that
This is not gonna work. Yeah.
or
absolutely.
a couple of individuals or two businesses recognizing.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. I'll just talk quickly about marketing and branding. So when you're choosing, these things that you guys are going to do as far as like marketing, just make sure that it's aligned with your brands and, that person's brand as well. But don't do things that you don't feel like speak volumes to your brand.
Yeah.
Or, you'll be proud about in next year, 5 years to 10 years from now. Ashley had made a joke. I don't know if it was last episode or the episode before, but she was like, there were some things, that we do together.
But I trust you guys. Vision,
Yeah.
Right.
Right. So,
Yeah.
It's just some kiki.
Some kiki, absolutely. But also, too, recognizing the difference between our collaboration and the kind of collaboration that we're speaking about is that we're collaborating together as individuals to create a new brand.
Yes.
Sure.
But if
Some brands might just be collaborating to mutually benefit
Right.
their
exactly.
brand.
Yes. So it has to align with both.
Yes.
For sure.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
Distinguishing the difference.
Yes.
Yeah.
Another point we should talk about is sharing resources and expertise.
I was with.
Similarly to I know we keep going back to, I guess this is the thing that is most at the forefront for us. It's like our collaboration. It's like things that you're good at. It's like doubling down on each other's strengths.
Yes.
Absolutely.
So if you're working with another entrepreneur or you're collaborating with another brand, brand to brand, it's like just making sure that you guys are doubling down on your strengths.
Yes.
And like where I'm weak, you may be strong, and that is and that's also like that speaks to it being mutually beneficial.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Because most of the time where you are weak. So to collaborate with somebody strong in the same points that you are strong,
right?
Not necessarily.
Exactly. What are we learning?
Where
but also, I was going to say, also be open to people's passion as well.
Yeah.
So that's one thing. When we started this or whatever, you were interested in the tech stuff or whatever, so you didn't really know everything inside out. But it's like, I'm passionate about it. I want to do the research, and I want to do this particular role.
Right.
Yeah.
So be open to people's passions as well. If they say, "Well, I'm really not sure about how to do it, but I'm really interested in it,"
Sure,
that could be a winning situation.
Because it's like you guys also trust that I'm going to do the due diligence.
Absolutely.
I'm gonna try to learn it. For sure.
It's just not like a hype in the moment,
right?
Kind of,
right.
Type of like that. That's got to be clear. Mm-hmm. Everybody got to hold that down.
Yeah.
One of the things with sharing resources and expertise could be shared spaces, co-working, resource pooling, strength focusing, and knowledge pooling.
Yeah.
Which is key.
Yeah.
I'm all for like brainstorming meetings.
Yeah.
Brainstorming, like literally we're going to come to the table and only
brainstorm
about ideas and things or whatever.
Yep.
And let that grow.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
You kind of talked about Tiana and Roxy. Their thing where they do their content.
Yeah.
They're all working together, those 4 businesses.
They're all working together, those 4, and whatever they create out of that content, creation day or whatever, each of them can promote on their individual business pages. Whatever the piece was that they did, it's pretty lit. Yeah. I love it.
That's big on my list for GTGI, like of the events and stuff that I want to do. I really want to do
collaborative events.
Like literally call the girls and say, hey, we have 10 slots for people to come, and we're going to do like a brand brainstorming like meeting or whatever. We'll have snacks, little finger foods, have some libations, just go over. Like I think it would be cute.
I think it's cute. I've also seen like other scenarios like that I'm really inspired by. So I'm totally in with that.
Everyone isn't as privileged as us to have each other. So it's going to be a great thing for us to be a resource
to navigate.
And then connect to other people. Like maybe they don't partner with us. Maybe they meet someone at the event.
Absolutely. Networking.
Absolutely.
Yes, absolutely. Yeah. Even though all this information sounds so cute and glamorous and great, and we're giving all the points. Yes. But let's be honest. Things happen when you go into business with each other, with other people. Of course, there could be a little bit of tension with collaborations if you're, like you said, like if you don't feel like, oh, this is the vision that I expected it to be, or going the way that I wanted it to be, or just kind of miscommunication at times. And, you know, learning how to take emotions out of the business, you know, portion of it. So, collaborations or anytime you're doing business with others, it can be like a little bit of friction on things. But let's speak to how you can avoid or deal or, you know, with it.
Well, I'll just bring up again, if you are in a situation that no longer serves you or you don't see beneficial in the long term or the short outcome of what you're trying to gain, or you were sold an idea that may not be manifesting in the way that it appeared to be, just know when to respectfully decline and move on and get out of it, and do it properly so that your reputation behind it isn't tarnished or like you left or you flaked out on something. If you communicate properly that this no longer serves you or suits you and you don't want to be a part of it anymore, and you know, pay or like whatever the consequence of that is, take it and keep it moving. You can learn the lesson and keep it moving rather than allowing something to explode or get out of hand, or you're in a bitter situation or you're resentful and you're moving it and whatever the outcome is still not profitable or successful in the way that you wanted it to be.
I would say, go ahead.
I was going to say, just before it gets to that point, make sure that you are listening, and make sure that you are also expressing
communicating,
expressing what your feelings are, and also being receptive when they're expressing how they feel. So listening as well, because there is most of the time things are a misunderstanding. Most of the time you can discuss.
I was gonna piggyback. I was gonna say the same thing as you, but I was gonna say piggyback off of you. Over communicating is always a good thing.
Absolutely.
Never leaving things unsaid. Over communicate so that there is no gray area, because again, things can be misconstrued.
Definitely.
And believe what people say. If you are feeling insecure about something or whatever, and you talk to the person and they say it's not a thing or this, that, and the third, take them at their word until they show you anything other. Like, don't let whatever is in your brain cloud like where you're going. You get what I'm saying? Be open, and if you have discussed it, be clear that
and honest.
Clear and honest in that moment. But also, once you receive the information, take it at face value until something else is shown to you. And you know, just
properly communicate your own boundaries, though.
Don't
gaslight yourself into thinking something. Because this is the thing. Regardless if that was the intention, you still felt affected by it.
Absolutely.
And so,
but don't be selfish in that either.
What meaning?
You know, meaning like, you know, your feelings, your emotions or whatever, because your partner could be having that as well. So like she said, like listening. So don't think that you are the only one feeling that way, whatever. Somebody else could be feeling very, you know, the same way. Absolutely. So don't think that, you know, you're always right and that somebody else is not feeling things.
For sure. And that's where the communication part comes in.
Open.
Being open. Exactly.
Being open.
You're not really willing to do those things with people that you don't
not
trust.
Right.
So
you already have that.
Yeah.
And again, if it's not one-sided, then you're not going to feel, you know, that way. So
it's lit.
So discuss strategies for effective conflict resolution.
Communication.
Communication. That's pretty much what it is.
You know, and again, letting it be outside. You know, we're in the era of text messaging, so it's like let it be a real conversation. Verbalize how you really feel. Be honest. So communication, number one. Number two, doing what you say that you're going to do. So if you guys have a friction or issue, whatever, and you say, okay, well, this is what I'm going to do to change, and this person, this is what I'm going to do to change. Make sure that you are holding yourself accountable. Yes. Only thing you can do is hold yourself accountable and hold that somebody else. Exactly, absolutely. And then again, exercising your boundaries. If you don't feel like that person is upholding that, always exit.
sure.
Yeah. So tips on managing expectations, because I know sometimes we'll go into things and maintaining a balance too. Because we'll go into things like, oh, this is gonna happen. We're gonna all get 1 million followers. We're gonna blow up. We're gonna this. We're gonna that, or whatever. It's like I feel like you should have goals at stair steps. Yeah. Right. Stair steps. And being realistic too, because again, if we're networking side by side across whatever, we're trying to get to this goal together. We don't all have the answers. We don't all have the following. We don't all have the $1 million to spend on marketing the bank. This is the reason why we're doing this. So together. Yeah, together. So don't think that we're coming into it and this is just going to blow. It may happen. Now, it may happen. But don't get all frustrated and upset because you didn't.
It doesn't.
Yeah. It
doesn't. When you pop.
Exactly. Like, yeah, long-term versus short-term. Sometimes things are long-term benefits and not short-term benefits. Yeah.
And so,
go ahead. I was just going to say when you are collaborating, making sure like your group like that is tight and legit, so that the outside doesn't affect. It doesn't affect what you know to be real. To be true.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. So the one thing about partnership is it's supposed to be collective.
Yes.
Okay. So collective goals. Yes. So you may have goals, but they may have goals, but you're gonna have to learn how to merge these goals together, right? Yeah. And not just not be selfish and thinking about what your goals are. Like this is a collaborative effort, so everybody's gonna have goals and ideas. So just being open to it. Yeah,
and being able to separate it from like, of course, things. Anything that you do that's going to be collaborative, it is going to push you forward as well. Mm-hmm. But making sure that whatever that thing is that y'all are doing, if it's building a new brand or if it's like doing a partnership or whatever, it's like making sure that. Because that has its own personality and its own goal. It has its own thing. So as long as we're all putting in for that thing, which is separate from yourself.
Yeah, your personal goals. Yeah.
Because the thing is, it's like if that thing that you're all focused on, once that rises, it will elevate.
Yeah.
Everybody's individual.
It's like a tree.
Yes.
It grows the branches. Yeah. It's like, the foundation is this one thing that we're doing, and now we're able to,
And being fluid, Fluid. Whatever was working today may not work next week.
Yeah. We said that on our live. When we did our one live.
Shut up.
We did our live. We were talking about like what we would think we'll all personally gain from it or whatever. And we just talked about what we were interested in after doing this, going on this journey. Yeah. And kind of open our minds up to like, I could probably do XYZ. Yeah, absolutely. Okay.
It reminds me a little bit of what Tiffany shared too. It's like what your initial plan, being fluid, what your initial plan may be, and then you put some stuff out there and then doubling down actually on what works. Yeah. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah. Because goals change.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Yeah. Goals change with insight too.
Once you know.
Absolutely.
Once you know.
You might have thought you was going to be stronger in that department. And it's like.
And that's not it.
Yeah.
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 For sure.
Yeah.
And once you're deep in, like, once you know the inner workings of whatever you're doing, because sometimes you come in not an expert.
Yeah.
Once you get involved, you're like, now this is the goal. That was the goal with this lack of knowledge. Now that I know what's really going on, this is the goal.
Yeah.
So.
And asking for help when you need it. If you're overwhelmed with something that you're doing, maybe someone else in the group can help at that moment, depending on what they have on their, on their plate.
Yeah. Absolutely. Yeah. It's super important for us to collaborate as female entrepreneurs as well. I know that me personally, I am tired of hearing the women empowerment thing, but realistically, if we cut down the idea of the facades, because I feel like in Atlanta that is kind of like a big thing. That was like a big money maker to use that term, right?
Sure.
But if we realistically support one another, you just said, you was like, you remember the thing I posted? You said you liked it. I was like, I was just supporting, baby.
Right.
It was me.
I was just supporting. Yeah, absolutely. But genuine support is super important for us because, hey, we all in this fight together.
Yep.
And nobody knows what we're going through but us.
Yeah. We're a lot more similar than we are different.
Yeah.
More than anything.
Yeah, for sure.
Yep.
Yep.
So we know like collaboration over competition is like, you see it on t-shirts, you see it all over social media.
Yeah.
To your point about the women empowerment things, it's like, be about it for real.
Yeah.
Because you'll benefit, they'll benefit. There is enough space for all of us.
For all of us.
Yeah, in whatever industry, in whatever space, there's enough room for all of us.
Yeah. You know why, like, in certain instances, it just clicked in my mind why in certain instances it sounds like cliche and kind of gimmicky.
Yeah.
Because people ain't actually doing it.
Exactly.
Right.
You know what I mean? It's just like a term that they like to use. But if you really
it was a money wave of that. Yeah.
But if you really get into it, like, it's really lit and you really showing up and really trusting women and really doing these things that are trendy and super on trend.
Yeah.
It would be pretty lit for you.
Yeah. So we are going to push you guys to consider doing a collaboration.
Yeah.
In the next few months. Just kind of, research, find some people, find another brand, find another business owner.
Likely
female.
You're already communicating with them. It's likely that you're already kind of like tapped in with one another.
Yeah.
But take that extra step to see like where that open communication could lead you.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, make that list and then go through that list and see how you can provide value to that person before you make that offer. But also nurture those relationships.
Yeah. Nurture those relationships. Yes. Yes. All right, you guys, anything else you want to add?
So we are wrapping up our challenge.
I didn't think this was gonna make the conversation. I was like,
It's got to. We got 2 more days.
Two more days, and then we're done.
Yeah, and then we're done. So we haven't all stuck to it, but I think it was a good.
I'm ready for July's challenge.
Bye. You gonna be doing that by yourself.
I'm done with you. But I'm done with myself too. But it was a nice activity for us to try, and we can continue pushing forward.
I'm listening. Yeah. Dang, I thought
so. Congratulations to everyone that finished it. Or at least participated. You don't have to continue for it to be a success. Just participating and showing up.
And showing up and hashtagging DTGI.
Yeah, I had another stylist reach out to me. It was like, "This is so great. I hope you keep this up afterwards. I'm so inspired." And I'm like, "Okay, where's your post at though, baby?"
Right. And we can continue to post. Whatever the challenge, but
this just started over on the first.
Absolutely.
Participate
or not?
Yeah. All right, you guys. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you.
Appreciate it. Hey, girl. Thanks for listening. But before you go, don't forget to subscribe, like, and share. See you next time.